You might remember that in 2020, big names like Elon Musk, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden were involved in a scam. This scammer was only a 17-year-old boy who had been arrested by the police before. How did this boy manage to hack such a big company? Let's try to find out in today's video. The most interesting thing about this hacker or scammer is that he started his crimes at the age of 13. At that time, he didn't even know hacking. You might be familiar with a game called Minecraft, where people create their own servers and build new worlds. This scammer, whose real name was Graham Evan Clark, was known as Open on this platform. He used to sell his YouTube too, but would disappear as soon as the money was transferred. Open was exposed by a YouTuber who randomly joined channel. Open and his friend did the work together and scammed people. To take revenge, Graham hired a hacker to hack all the accounts of Midjoin and started scamming Midjoin's followers. Besides his followers, Graham would also disappear after making video editors and designers work for him. Although Graham's parents were divorced and he came from a middle-class family, he used to go to this school in Florida with expensive cars and luxury items, making him popular in school. He took advantage of this popularity by paying his classmates to do his homework. Later, he started giving expensive gifts to people around him in exchange for cheating in exams. Graham's scams were small at first, but then he started using a website called unveils. Unveils was a website where people sold interesting and unique Twitter sign-ins. It was here that Graham started hacking and began to fulfill customers' demands by obtaining their login details.
This technique doesn't always work, especially nowadays when people are quite aware of it. Therefore, Graham started using SIN swapping. SIN swapping is a technique where, after finding someone's phone number, you call the telecom company and tell them that your SIN card is lost and you need a duplicate SIN. They ask you a few questions, and if they believe you are the SIN card owner, they provide you with a new SIN. Once you have the SIN card, you can easily reset passwords. However, sometimes that SIN card might not be delivered, or for some reason, they might not give you the SIN card. To avoid this, Graham started finding the numbers of telecom employees and pretended to be an employee of the same company, obtaining the login details and number from them. This was more social hacking than technical hacking, where he confidently talked to various people and got the information he needed. Initially, Graham received payments in cryptocurrencies, which had become quite popular. He then used social media to find people who invested in crypto and had substantial money. He started accessing people's Bitcoin wallets through SIN swapping. Since Bitcoin is untraceable, he wasn't afraid of being caught. By the age of 15, he had mastered this work and was earning not just thousands but millions of dollars. Through the dark web, he started buying personal data of people to make SIN swapping easier, and he made many friends on OG users who were also good at hacking. In 2019, when he was just 16, he decided to target an angel investor named Greg Bennett. On April 15, 2019, Greg noticed that his SIN card's network had suddenly disappeared. Finding it strange, he tried to log into his email, but couldn't. He tried logging into 3 different crypto platforms he used, but the passwords had been changed. Greg had a third-party app to monitor his Bitcoin wallets, where he saw that a large number of Bitcoins had been transferred to another wallet. By this time, Graham had stolen $10 million worth of Bitcoins. Due to the daily limit on these wallets, he couldn't transfer more Bitcoin in a single day. Greg contacted the telecom company to regain access to his SIN card and froze all his wallets. He also regained access to one of his email accounts and saw that 2 others were involved in this hack, communicating through Greg's different email accounts. These emails revealed that Graham had not shared the stolen money with the other 2, who were unable to contact him and had to use Greg's email to message Graham. Later, Graham also contacted Greg and demanded a ransom of 50 Bitcoins, worth about $1 million at that time, but Greg refused and reported him directly. Besides scams, Graham also ventured into the drug business and had his first encounter with the police. One day, when he went to a drug dealer's house with 2 friends, he stayed in the car while the other 2 went inside. Soon, he heard gunshots and flood. One of the 2 boys inside was killed, and the other was injured. When the police investigated, Graham's name came up, and he was called in for questioning. Graham told them that he did not know that they went inside for drugs and had guns with them. According to Graham, he was just giving them a ride as a friend and ran away when he heard gunshots. Technically, the police had no evidence against Graham, so they had to let him go, but they knew he was lying And the matter wasn't that simple, which is why the police started keeping an eye on him. After this shooting incident, Graham and his friends were expelled from their school. Graham then rented an apartment and started living away from his mother. He also displayed his wealth on social media, which was legally impossible for a 17-year-old to earn. Now, the authorities had also started noticing him and began monitoring his activities. When they had enough evidence against Graham, they issued a search warrant in his name. During this search of his house, they found about $400,000 worth of bitcoins. This connected him to the hack involving Greg. But the problem was that the police only had evidence of $1 million going missing, and Graham was still not 18 years old. They knew that even if they took the case to court, nothing would happen. So after an 8-month-long investigation, the police offered him a deal in which he had to return the $1 million. Graham gladly returned it and avoided going to jail. Armed with this, he realized that he couldn't be punished for such crimes until he turned 18. So, he made the biggest plan of his life, as he was just 8 months away from turning 18. This plan shook the entire world, involving celebrities like Elon Musk. The scam stated that if money was sent to a specific Apple 365.BT account, it would be doubled in return. During the lockdown, the entire world was going through a tough time. Graham began hacking employees one by one until he reached an employee with enough power to change other users' account passwords. Finally, they managed to hack the account of a senior manager, and with this account, they hacked all these celebrities' accounts. Now, let's come to how they were caught. A day before the hack was supposed to happen, Hazib Awan, a cybersecurity expert, received a message. Hazib, who ran his own cybersecurity company, knew many hackers. One of them sent him a screenshot of an online form filled by a user named Shawan. Shawan received a message from someone telling him to stop posting because people thought he was the hacker. Shawan explained that he was not the hacker. Instead, a hacker named Kirk, who was actually Graham, had asked him to post from his account for a cut. Hazib gave him the contact of a journalist, and during the conversation, it was revealed that Shawan's real name was Mason, a 19-year-old living in England. Kirk had messaged Mason, asking him to post such content in exchange for a cut. Initially, Mason couldn't believe that any hacker could claim to. However, many believe that sometimes the police have to break the law themselves in such cases, which is why they don't reveal this process. On July 31, 2020, Graham was arrested from his home, and his trial started on March 16, 2021, via Zoom. But even this Zoom call was hacked by his friends, who created chaos by playing music and abusing the judge and lawyers. Graham thought he wouldn't go to jail, and something similar happened. He was sent to a correctional facility in Florida for 3 years, where he had to get permission before having any electronic equipment. Even after being released from jail, he would be on probation for the next 3 years, requiring regular visits to his probation officer and disclosing all his internet activities, including email accounts, devices, and other details. As of 2023, Graham has been released and is roaming free. Interestingly, the $400,000 that the police returned to him is still available in the form of Bitcoin, and its value today is over $1 million. Graham's act of posting from the accounts of big companies saying their management had resigned or that they were running at a loss caused their share prices to fall, allowing Graham to make even more money through short-selling these stocks. Having access to such powerful people's accounts also meant he had access to their private conversations. He could have caused various geopolitical tensions using politicians' accounts. Graham was just a 17-year-old kid who wanted to scam people. But if a terrorist organization or other political groups had hacked important accounts in this manner, much more could have changed. So, this was the story of a hacker who, at the age of 17, shook the world. I hope you learned something new in today's video.